Okay, this is mxux. How you doing? This is the case for self-charging electric vehicles, and a monstrous hoax is the charging situation. And this is true here. And I forgot to mention Neo with their battery swap system in China, which is way too kludgy. Not going to work. I don't think it's going to work. They don't even have room for that. And we're not even talking about India here. So let's go to these slides. Okay, we're just going to discuss the fact that the major EV manufacturers are missing the point. We're going to go through the demographics of a pro EV community, 100,000 people. Review of their EV charging infrastructure, issues facing EV, charging issues in this community, planned EV expansions that aren't happening here. We're going to go through the Aptera, quite a bit of detail on that, on their charging system. And then the only other self-charging EV is the Lightyear. You're going to check that out. And then we're going to go over why a lot of people can't have chargers in their home. And self-charging vehicle here in China and India. And by the way, that who's that? What's that cat? That cat's name. He just does the phone reviews. He just did a video on this. I just watched it. I left a comment right before I was going to record this. Anyway, same topic, kinda. Okay, so this is a typical, USA town. Uh, Santa Monica, population's about 100,000. Renters rule. Okay, we got 50-50 men, women. We got 71% renters. Okay, and far and away the majority. So you can see here, 32,000 of the households out of 45 are renters. And in this community, which there's the subways coming in, the trains in from downtown there, and there's a bus line. There's public transportation. Anyway, everybody takes a car. Everybody drives a car, and usually one person in the car. Second to this is walking. They say get a car, you got walking, then you get a bicycle, then you get the bus or the train. So what is this? 100 to 1, something like that. Anyway, car, car, car. That's California. Now this is a map from PlugShare here, and this is Santa Monica. And let's just say, for the sake of discussion, if you lived in Santa Monica, this would be about where you'd want to drive to, put gas in your car, or in the event you didn't have a charger, to charge your car. And I shot a little video on this. Let's just take a listen to this. This is talking about these different charging stations.
Okay, this is PlugShare right here. And this is Santa Monica. And these are the different stations, the charging stations. And let's just go through a couple of these. Here we go. Santa Monica Civic Center garage. That closes early. If you can get a parking space, they charge quarterly hourly parking. I think the first 60 minutes is free. Shore Hotel, forget it, you're not going to get in there. Santa Monica Pier closes down at, well, actually it's closed now, period. Lowe's, forget it, you're not going to get in there. Marriott, forget it, you're not going to get in there. Shutters, forget it, you're not going to get in there. Viceroy, forget it, you're not going to get in there. Waverly, forget it, you're not going to get in there. Seychelles, forget it, you're not going to get in there. Okay, let's go over here. Shangri-La, forget it, you're not going to get in there. Again, this is a public parking garage. They're often full up during normal hours. They close. They say they're open 24 hours. Let's just go over here. Says Wilshire Garage, parking paid. I don't know. I think this is for the charge. It says open 24/7. They're not. Technically, they close, and there is no overnight parking. And the parking um, starts, I think you get 60 minutes free, and then it charges by the quarter hour, and it can very quickly add up to $25. Fairmont, forget it. You're not going to get in there. Huntley, forget it. Again, public parking structure, same thing. You got to pay for parking. Says open 24/7. Technically, it is not. Okay. Plus, I wouldn't want to go in there after hours anyway.
You can't
This
leave
is in
your
a
car in
public
there
parking
overnight
lot as
either.
well. These are all that, see, parking fees apply, pay parking. Again, these add up very quickly. They charge by the quarter hour. This is the Uruguay Embassy. They're not going to have you. This is Santa Monica Supercharger. I'm not sure where this is, but I do not think you're going to get in here either. Hampton, forget it. You're not going to get in. Courtyard Inn, forget it. You're not going to get in there. Parking structure, again, there's
Get
going
the
to be
point?
pay. Shore Hotel, you're not going to get in there. Santa Monica Civic Center closes down early, and they got a security
This
guard, and it's
actually
pay parking.
is permit parking,
What else we got here?
I
Public
believe.
library, strict paid parking. They ticket like crazy, and they
Closes
close
early.
early. Toyota, forget it. They're not going to. They close early. They got a security guard walking around, and anyway, they're going to tell you to get the heck out of there because that's for customers only. Santa Monica Ford, same thing. Mini of Santa Monica, same thing. Parking lot structure, same thing with the paid parking. UCLA Medical Center, good luck even getting in there. Memorial Park, maybe. Could be very dicey depending on what time you go there. Santa Monica Fiat, forget it. All right. Anyway, the point we're trying to make here is these are there's here. Let's see what this is. Annenberg Beach House. You're not going to get in there either.
That's miles away.
These chargers. This is a hoax. You're not going to get into these chargers. There's, you know, forget it.
Okay, so you're going to get in. You might be able to get in, but point is, there isn't anything easy or convenient about it, and it's expensive. And by the time you add up the parking fees, and you're going to see they're going to start charging for the charging, and the charging bays are full on any normal day. And again, they're very strict on ticketing. You're not allowed to stay overnight. These are the rules. Anyway,
Okay.
we
This
already, we
is
already played that. Now, this is this is out of a local paper, and this is January 13th, 2020, beginning of this year. This is before the Rona. Consider EV charging. Um, electric vehicles to get free parking at parking meters. Um, with electric vehicles eating into parking revenues and boosting charging stations costs, which they're allowing free charging for now. Rethinking policies, encouraging EV use. Blah, blah, blah. Will consider imposing a fee to use city-owned charging stations, which are currently free, as well as a $1 per minute overstay fee. And I believe they've done this, which can add up crazy. You know, they have time limits on the chargers, and if you overstay, $1 a minute. So, EV use in Santa Monica higher than in most cities. Registered vehicles doubled since 2016 to about 3,000, 3% of all vehicles. So you see, there's less than 5% of the vehicles are EV, and they can't handle the charge. That compares with 1.4%, so it's double uh, the city, and 2.3 in San Francisco. So it's more than San Francisco. San Francisco is 2.4. Santa Monica is more than San Francisco. Uh, Santa Monica is one of the few cities left that offer free use of EV charging. Okay. Los Angeles charges from $0 to $2 an hour, and these are the other charges: $2 an hour, $2 and $3 an hour, $4 an hour. The, the take home on this is Santa Monica no longer leads to offer free EV charging, so it's the number one EV place in the country, and they are done offering free charging, and they are charging $1 a minute overstay fee, and you know that's the state of charging in like the number one EV car place in the country. And now these are some changes that they uh, put forward, and of course, they haven't happened today. So this is 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever. Electric vehicle action plan. Triple the number of public charging stations. Didn't happen. Focus on expanding charging for residents who live in multi-unit residential buildings and neighborhoods where charging infrastructure is more challenging to install. Read rentals, 76% of the population. Okay, they're going to expand to 3 times. They were going to offer curbside parking charging, which I guess there's a charger next to the parking space. The streetlight charging, which is on the streetlight poles, they have a charger. They may have put one of these in somewhere. I don't think anywhere. And fast charging stations, which none of the ones that are, public or whatever are fast charging stations. Offer rebates, EV charging infrastructure, uh, increase requirements for EV-ready parking spaces and new construction. Rebates to everybody, by the way, just disregards all these requirements. That's just like the low-income housing; they just don't do it. Uh, Offer rebates to support EV charging. Right? Nobody wants these public chargers that I can see. I don't know. Maybe I'm uh, public out public outreach. I don't know what that is. Long-term plan to recoup the cost recoup the cost. So basically, they haven't done any of the. This is the number one EV place. They haven't done any of this stuff in 3 years, and they're going to start charge. They've instituted fees, and now and there's parking fees on top of that, and then there's stay over fees $1 a minute, and now they're going to start charging for electricity. So these are the things they haven't done. So that's the state of the charging infrastructure in the biggest EV car community in the country, it looks like, or at least on the West Coast. Now this is Aptera. Now Aptera is the car that's on the cover of this. And the thing about the Aptera is, for those of you that aren't familiar with it, I'll show you a photo of it just in a bit. Aptera means wingless bird, and the body of the car looks like a wingless bird. It's lightweight, high strength, super efficient electric car, and it has solar cells on the roof and the dash and the trunk and everywhere that's facing up. So you park this thing in the sun, and the sun hits the solar cells, and they charge the battery. The battery is also very efficient. So let me just play this video here.
Okay, this is the Aptera website. They have this calculator on here. There's a map off to the side where you select your sun zone.
I'll show you
based
the map
on where you're located
next
in the country. And this involves the self-charging of the car. The car has solar panels on it. I'll go over that in a second. But anyway, this is 0. I guess that's the North Pole. And then this is up north, and then this is, Cleveland, and then this is
The
Virginia or
different
whatever, and
zones.
then blah, blah, blah. And then by my reckoning, I think where I'm at here is about an 8.
Santa Monica,
Now, how
whatever.
many miles do you drive a day? According to their chart there, if you drive 40 miles a day on average, I guess that implies a 20-mile each way commute. Not sure if that's accurate here, but anyway, uh, at 40 miles a day, that comes out to a mileage of 10,500 miles a year, which is, the average vehicle mileage. If you go, that's what 10,000 miles, or all the warranties are 100 10 years or 100,000 miles, whatever. So 10,500, you'd have to recharge this car uh, 4.38 times a year with a cord. And this car will charge with a 110 cord. Okay, just a regular outlet cord. I think you get 15 miles an hour from charging it that way. And let's see, the average commute in the U.S. is 29 miles per day. These results are based on blah blah blah. So anyway, this is based
That's based on the big battery
on
model, but
40 miles. Now let's say
this is just for
uh,
illustration purposes.
the distance in here is 50 miles. Well, that would be 8 times a year you'd have to recharge it. So every other month, once a month, something like that. And then 6 for 45 days a year, that'd be once every other month.
The point
And
is you don't
40,
have to
like I say,
recharge it
would be
weekly.
once every 3 months. Okay. And if you get down to where you're just driving around local and go to the store and stuff, nothing, no charging. It charges completely off uh, the what you call solar panels. 30 nothing. 35 2.6. So that's the idea. All right.
Okay, so as you can see from this, that now this is very aggressive and it's based on their like top end model, but it's just for illustration purposes. How it cuts down the charging tremendously. From I don't know what the average charging would probably be weekly, something like that, or bi-weekly to 4 and 5 times a year.
Okay. This is
Okay, now this is the chart they use to. There's you, Mr. Sunshine. Anyway, this is about where we were doing those readings from. That's zone 8. Uh, the miles a day you would get charging. Okay, the max you would get is 40 miles a day. The average would be 28. The minimum would be 16. So just sitting in this location, this is the daily charge you're going to get for what is it, 8 hours of sunlight or 12 hours of sunlight, whatever it is, and that turns out to be 10,000. So in other words, you have a car sitting outside in this zone, on average, you're going to get the average mileage driven free on the solar panels in the car. This is without going to any charging station. So now this is a video I'm going to show here of the what they did. They explain the charging, but just to mention here, the big hubbub on this is that the Aptera promo videos they show it plugging into a Tesla supercharger, which um, Tesla, somebody contacted both parties and nobody's talking about it. And Elon Musk just said, there are other parties going to use the supercharger network. It's just low key right now. I don't know. Would they be able to do? Would they be able to show that in their promo videos if it wasn't true? I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. Anyway, um, so the average drive is 30 miles a day. So the solar cells easily cover that. Never charge. You can drive 40 miles per day and up to 11,000 miles a year just on solar. Okay, so that's the idea in the appropriate zone. And there's 3 square meters of solar panels, and I think that's the standard setup. And you can increase that by adding more to the back window. And that's ultimately why they've never ever charged solar vehicles. So this is technically the numbers add up. If you need more power, you can charge from a 110 outlet. So that's the thing. You can plug a standard out. I'm going to go over this in a minute. You can plug this thing into a standard outlet and still get reasonable charge without a charge, just like a cell phone. We'll play this video.
Okay, I'm going to play this video off the website here.
Imagine never having to fuel your vehicle. With Aptera, you can go about your day while your vehicle charges itself up for free. It gets all the power it needs from the sun without ever having to plug in. We call it Never Charge.
I don't know if you can hear that.
Solar package, providing over 40 free driving miles per day.
Okay, 43 miles a day from the solar.
The first vehicle that
solar
won't need to fuel up for most daily driving. It also gets a record-breaking 1,000 miles of range.
Okay, this is only if you have the largest battery pack, you get 1,000
than any
miles.
other electric vehicle. How is this possible? Well, because of our advanced aerodynamics, lightweight parts, and an efficient electric drivetrain.
See, aerodynamics, lightweight, and an efficient drivetrain.
This means our small solar package can still take you a long, long way. Never Charge is built into every Aptera, and it can produce enough free solar power to travel over 11,000 miles per year.
Standard.
At Aptera, we're building the world's most efficient transportation, freeing up your time, saving money, and doing something.
Okay, so that's the Aptera pitch. Anyway.
Okay, I think that's a pretty reasonable. I mean, that's a best case scenario, and but it's quite reasonable. It's not. I mean, let's put it this way: it's going to do a lot of the charging. Okay, you're not going to have to seek out a charger. I mean, if you go on a long trip or something, but I mean, I'm just saying, weekly or whatever charging, I don't think it's going to be an issue, depending on how much you drive the car. But this is the most sophisticated self-drive. It's the only one. I'll go over this later, but anyway, I think it's a completely doable and a solution to this charging problem. Okay, we've already seen that. This is the self-charging. This has got the special extra how do you do solar cells on the trunk lid, which I don't know if that blocks the vision. I don't know if the police will allow that in certain areas because they limit window tinting as well. But anyway, it's technically a motorcycle, so it may not matter. Who knows? Anyway, that's something you want to check. But this is solar cell. There's solar cells here. There's solar cells here. These are solar cells. These back here are solar cells. So when the sun is shining, when it's sunny, you get 5 miles of charge per hour with bright sun. You can get 40 miles a day, and from an extension cord, just dragged out your bedroom window, you get 13 miles an hour. Or about 150 miles of charge overnight. I think they say overnight is 12 hours. At a roadside charging station, they don't say Tesla, but you get 100 miles in 10 minutes. Okay, because these are smaller battery packs and they charge quicker. Aptera can be charged travel up to 1,000 miles in range by plugging into a standard 110 or 220 outlet. Okay, so would you plug your clothes dryer, and you could just plug it in there. It's got a charger built into the car, and there's same thing with the outlet extension cord, and it'll be compatible with level 2 and DC fast chargers. So the solar cells, 5 miles per hour, 40 miles a day. 110 outlet, 13 miles, 150 miles. The roadside charger, 110 minutes. Anyway, the point is, this is a big step forward in keeping the battery charged in these vehicles. Now, this is the only other self-charging vehicle I know of, and this is the Lightyear, and this is Dutch, I think. Anyway, this whole area here is solar cell, and this whole hood is solar cell, and you see here and here 5 square meters, 12 kilometers of range. No need to charge on a daily basis. The car doesn't does itself combine solar cells encased in safety glass. Sturdy solar roof and hood live up to the rigorous industry standards. So they've got these glass enclosed. And I think this may be the future plans for Tesla. They got all that glass in the car. But anyway, this is what's available now. They're only going to make 900 of them. It's going to be 150 euros, and they're only going to be in the EU, Norway, and Switzerland, which Elon may have to worry about over there. Late 2021, they say. But 150 euros is a $183,000 car. It's got 54 square feet of solar panels, and it'll charge 7.5 miles an hour. So, in other words, 5 hours is 40 miles of this thing sitting out in a parking lot. So that's, other people are looking at these solutions, and this is another one. Hardly as practical. The Aptera, I believe, starts at about 25K. Since it's a motorcycle, it doesn't get the federal tax credit, but it does get other credits, and it goes up from there. But at 26K compared to 183,000, yeah. Now on the rental statistics. Now this is U.S. aggregate statistics. So 136 million housing units in the U.S. There's 83 million renters. People living in rental housing increased from 72 to 83 million in 2017. That's 3 years ago. And renter movers are declining from 24. In other words, people aren't moving up to houses. They're staying renting because they don't have any money, and there's nowhere to go. So right now, overall, aggregate, 37%, almost 40% of people are renting, okay, in the U.S. 61% of these households don't have any EV charging available, okay? And those are apartment dwellers and so forth. 51 million renters have no chargers or the capability to add one. So in other words, this is where they're living, 5+ units, 2 to 4 units. Some are on single family, renting single family houses. What they mean is no chargers, they don't have chargers installed. And the capability to add one, this depends on the infrastructure of your home. Again, if your electrical system's already stressed in the house and you don't have enough volts or watts or whatever coming in from the telephone pole, forget it. It's just gonna blow. It's not gonna work. You're not gonna have the juice you need to charge the car. And they're saying 61% of the people here of this number don't. It's a big number. Anyway, you can do the math. no access, and they're not going to have any access to charging. So the charging limitations, about 42% of the population theoretically can charge at home. That's 60% cannot. Okay? Front runners, electric cars on the road, there's 300,000, there's a million electric cars on the road. Okay? Plug-ins charging. Plug-ins require charging. 56% of homes have access to proper charging. 42 can handle, in the U.S., 56 have access to proper charging. Of these houses, 42 can handle electric cars charging. Not sure what this means. That means they have access to, meaning there's public chargers. 42% can handle charging at home. Electric car statistics suggest that not every home in the U.S. can handle electricity needs of these eco-friendly cars, which is what I was talking about in the last slide. Well, people may save up on gas by going electric. They would definitely have to pay a little extra for their electricity. That is, if their ports are compatible with what an electric car requires. Again, less than 40%, 2% have this capability. So the majority of people can't even install a charger if they want to. So based on this, having charging at home, which, as you can see, the public charging infrastructure is not there in most places. Only 42% of households, so not even a majority of households, can do it if they want. More people may need to change their homes if they want to go green. So that means this is a major expense, bringing in new power from the pole. New breaker box, new breakers, new main breaker. I mean, everything, conduit, pulling wires, unbelievable how complex that can be and expensive. And then on top of that, you got to put the charger in, whatever that cost may be, a couple grand. So the answer is, and this is in the U.S. and China and India, these self-charging electric vehicles are the answer to this problem. It's the only way there's going to be any mass adoption, at least in the climates that can take it. And the charging has to be addressed. Okay, in U.S., China, India, every major market. China, they have no room to put in parking lots full of chargers. They got this battery swap plan. I watched a report on that. They don't even have room to put the battery swap station. They take up too much room. So this is it. Tesla's got a massive charging network. By the way, in Santa Monica, there was only one Tesla charging area, and I don't know how many chargers were in it, but there was one. That was it. The elephant in the room been avoided by the major manufacturers. Nobody's talking about this. Tesla does have a full charging network, but it doesn't help these tightly packed urban areas. And these municipalities like Santa Monica and others that are promoting EV adoption, it's damn the torpedoes. Forget about the charging. Most people don't have the capability for it. So what we need are lightweight, safe, super efficient electric vehicles. The Aptera is the operational definition of this. They can realistically charge themselves. And this is a totally attainable goal. By the way, Aptera is moving on to other models in a four-door sedan, or a sedan anyway, a two-door, whatever it is coming out. These guys are at the cutting edge of this. They really have a great plan together, and I think that this is going to be a key to their success. And I know if I was going to get a vehicle, and I already have one, I've reserved one, is an Aptera. And by the way, I will put a link in the description of this video to another video I did going in detail on the Aptera design and everything, and also a link that will get you a discount, a $30 discount, or a 30%, whatever it is, a 30% discount on the refundable payments needed to reserve one. So everybody's pushing self-driving. I don't know. I'm going to do sorry, phone message. I'm going to do a thing on this comma.ai. I mean, this George Holtz has already got self-driving pretty much figured out, and you can buy the whole system for less than $1,000. So, but I'm not putting down old Elon here. But I'm just saying that we need to focus on self-charging to solve this charging problem. And also, this takes the load off the utilities and everything else. I mean, this is the solution for the electric transportation. And they need to put the incentives in government. All the horses need to be charging in the same direction on this. And this is completely counter to what we got coming out now. I mean, the Teslas are efficient. They got a charging network. Okay. As I said, there's only one charger in Santa Monica, and there's a Tesla dealership in Santa Monica too, right downtown. The Rivian RT1, massive weight, massive battery, massive charging obligation there. The GM Hummer, same thing. The Cybertruck, after fans have requested it, that louvered cover that goes over the truck bed, they're going to put solar charging cells on it, they think. Now, I did another video. I should put a link on that. I think I'll put a link on that in the description as well, as why I don't know when the Cybertruck is going to come out exactly. Well, one thing, it's too big for the standard garage, and Elon says he's not going to make it small. Anyway, here's Elon here, smoking a doobie. I bust balls on Elon. I like him. I'm a supporter. I'm an investor. But he likes a good meme too. He deserves it. So get with the program. Let's get the self-charging going. What's the matter with you? Jeez, I whiz. Anyway, that's the video. And here comes the creepy close music. I hope you guys like it. I'm going to put some links in the description for the Aptera and the Cybertruck. We'll have the first electric pickup truck. So thank you. I hope you guys have a good, happy New Year. Stay safe and follow the CDC recommendations. That's it. It's recording. Oh yeah, links in the description. Aptera discount link, Aptera video link, and the pickup. All right.